Welcome back to RF Coins. Today the story behind the 1969 D penny, its history, its minting details, and its current market value will truly surprise you. Stay tuned till the end, because this coin could be sitting right in your pocket change, worth hundreds, thousands, or even more. Let's start with the history. The 1969 D Lincoln cent was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the most productive U.S. mints. Over 4 billion of these pennies were made that year. The D Mint mark stands for Denver, located just below the date on the obverse side of the coin, right under the number 9 in 1969. The obverse features the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, first used in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday. On the reverse, we have the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, which appeared on the penny from 1959 until 2008. Within that small design, if you look closely, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, a tiny detail that still amazes collectors. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The 1969 D penny is known for being part of an incredible chapter in American coin collecting, the story of the double die. The most famous of all the 1969 pennies is the 1969 double die obverse penny, one of the most valuable modern Lincoln cents ever discovered. Although the 1969 D does not share that same rare double die, it still has fascinating features, variations, and minting details that make certain examples highly collectible today. In 1969, the Denver Mint used a copper alloy composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving the coin its classic reddish-brown tone. Over time, exposure to air, humidity, and handling caused many of these coins to change color, from bright red to deep brown, and that color grading significantly affects the coin's value. Red coins, known as RD by grading standards, are the most valuable, followed by RB for red-brown, and finally BN for brown coins. Let's talk about values. In circulated condition, a typical 1969 D penny might only be worth its face value, 1 cent. But when you find one in pristine, uncirculated condition, the story changes dramatically. Collectors are always looking for high-grade examples, and that's where the money lies. A bright, red, mint state 1969 D Lincoln cent graded MS 67 or higher can bring astonishing prices at auction. Some have sold for over $4,000 to $6,000 depending on color, strike quality, and luster. In rare cases, coins with perfect surfaces and no spots or scratches have gone even higher. According to the current coin market, the highest auction records show that the 1969 D penny in top mint condition has reached values near $7,000. Yes, you heard that right, a single 1-cent coin worth thousands of dollars. Even coins graded MS 66 can still command impressive prices ranging between $150 and $500 depending on the market demand and buyer interest. So, every time you find a shiny 1969 D penny, don't spend it too quickly. You might have a hidden treasure in your hands. Now let's move to another important topic, the errors. The Denver Mint was known for producing billions of coins quickly, and with such massive production, mint errors were inevitable. Some 1969 D pennies show die cracks, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and even clipped planchets. These errors can increase the coin's value significantly. A 1969 D penny with an off-center strike or die break could be worth anywhere from $50 to several $100s, depending on how dramatic the error is. Collectors absolutely love unique mint mistakes because no two are ever alike. A particularly striking example with a large off-center design or strong die crack could reach even higher values. Now, if you want to identify a potential valuable coin, you must look carefully. Examine your penny under good lighting or a magnifying glass. Look for strong details, clean surfaces, and especially those minting errors. If the coin still retains its original red color and full mint luster, it's time to consider grading it through a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A professionally graded coin not only ensures authenticity but can greatly increase its resale value. Let's talk about market trends. In 2025, the coin market has remained strong, especially for high-grade Lincoln cents. Collectors and investors continue to seek out beautiful copper coins from the 1960s because many of them are over 50 years old now and becoming harder to find in perfect condition. The 1969 D. Lincoln penny, though common in circulation, is not easy to find in flawless mint state. As the demand for older copper cents continues, prices have been steadily increasing. Some coin price guides list the 1969 D in MS67 RD condition at over $6,800, while lower grades like MS65 RD still bring around $150 to $250. The current average market value hovers near $898.959 for high-grade examples in top-tier collections, showing how strong the demand remains for this iconic coin. Collectors also pay attention to small details like strike quality, toning, and die variety. A sharply struck coin with clear details in Lincoln's hair and the steps of the Lincoln Memorial always commands a premium. On the other hand, coins with weak strikes or dull surfaces might be worth less, even if they look clean to the eye. That's why grading plays such a major role in determining market price. Now, let's reflect on why the 1969 D penny remains so special. Beyond its potential value, it's a symbol of an era when the U.S. Mint was transitioning into modern production methods. It represents American history, craftsmanship, and the legacy of Lincoln himself, one of the most beloved presidents in U.S. history. Every collector who starts with pennies usually ends up searching for the 1969 series, and the Denver Mint version remains one of the cornerstones of Lincoln cent collections. If you're hunting through coin rolls, checking your pocket change, or browsing coin shops, always keep an eye out for a clean, well-preserved 1969 D penny. These coins are becoming more collectible every year, and the thrill of finding one in mint state is unmatched. Even if your coin isn't worth thousands, every Lincoln cent tells a story, and that story connects you directly to over a century of American minting tradition. To sum it all up, the 1969 D Lincoln penny is a coin with deep history, strong collector demand, and real potential value. It might only say 1 cent on the back, but in the right condition, it's worth a lot of money. Whether you're a beginner collector or a seasoned numismatist, this coin is an essential piece of American coinage history. Its copper glow, historical significance, and market potential make it a timeless treasure. Thank you for watching RF Coins, where we uncover the hidden value behind America's coins, 1 cent at a time. If you enjoyed learning about the 1969 D Lincoln penny, hit that like button, subscribe to RF Coins, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new video about rare and valuable US coins. Share this video with your friends, and who knows, maybe they'll discover a rare penny. And stay tuned for more deep dives into the world of numismatics, only here on RF Coins, your home for coin collecting knowledge, history, and hidden treasures. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and keep believing, because your next coin could be worth a lot of money. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins ever struck by the U.S. Mint, the 1972 Lincoln penny. A small copper coin that has captured the hearts of collectors around the world, not just for its design, but for its history, hidden varieties, and incredible market value that continues to surprise collectors even today. Let's start by going back in time. The year was 1972. The Vietnam War was still ongoing, Richard Nixon was president, and America was changing rapidly. During this time, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco produced millions of Lincoln cents, but among these, something extraordinary happened. A special variety emerged that would later become one of the most sought-after era coins in American numismatic history, the 1972 double-die Lincoln cent. This coin, like every Lincoln penny, features the image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design that's been used since 1909. On the reverse, we see the classic Lincoln Memorial, an image that was introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. But in 1972, something magical happened in the minting process. Some coins were struck from a die that had been doubled, meaning the lettering on the coin, especially the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and 1972, appeared to have a clear, visible double image. For collectors, this was like striking gold. The 1972 double die obverse, DDO, penny is one of the most dramatic and desirable double dies ever created. You can actually see the doubling without a magnifying glass, it's that bold. And because of its rarity and beauty, it quickly became a legend in the world of coin collecting. Now let's talk about mint marks. The 1972 penny was produced in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; and San Francisco, S mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint produced more than 2.9 billion of these coins, Denver made over 2.6 billion, and San Francisco produced a smaller number of proof coins for collectors, around 3.2 million. Even though billions were made, only a fraction of them have survived in pristine condition, and only a small handful are those rare double die examples. Let's explore the metal composition. The 1972 penny was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it that rich reddish-brown shine that older pennies are known for. Each one weighs 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. Because copper itself has value, even the metal content of these pennies adds to their worth, especially now that copper prices are higher than ever, but the real excitement lies in the value of the 1972 Lincoln penny in today's market. A regular circulated 1972 penny might only be worth a few cents, but uncirculated examples, especially those in mint state, MS, condition, can fetch a few dollars. However, when we're talking about the famous 1972 double die, the story changes completely. In lower grades, you can find a 1972 double die Lincoln penny for around $100 to $200. But in higher grades, the price skyrockets. A mint state 65 red example has sold for over $1,000, and pristine, top-graded examples can reach up to $9,000 or more in major auctions. Some proof-like versions and exceptional specimens have reached astonishing prices close to $898,958 in reported premium private sales, an unbelievable figure for a 1-cent coin. This shows just how passionate collectors are about rare errors and historical treasures. So why is the 1972 penny so important to collectors? It's not just about the doubling, it's about the story behind it. Every time the minting process produces a double die, it becomes a snapshot of human error, technology, and history colliding. These coins remind us that even machines make mistakes, and sometimes those mistakes become masterpieces. And here's something even more exciting: many 1972 double die pennies are still out there in circulation. That's right. You could find one hiding in a jar of old pennies, tucked away in your change, or sitting in a forgotten box of coins at home. The key is to look closely. The best way to identify a true 1972 double die is by examining the word Liberty and the date. The doubling is extremely strong and clear. It looks almost like a shadow of the letters and numbers. Be careful, though, because there are also minor double die varieties that don't have much value. The main variety, known as DDO-001, is the one you want. Collectors often ask, should you clean your 1972 pennies? The answer is no. Never clean a coin, as it can drastically reduce its value. Keep it as it is. The natural toning and luster are what make it unique. If you think you've found a double die, handle it carefully by the edges and store it in a protective coin holder. In the current market, the 1972 Lincoln penny continues to rise in popularity. With the increasing interest in copper-era coins and historical U.S. coinage, values have seen a steady climb. Auction houses and online coin markets show consistent demand, especially for high-grade and certified examples. A coin graded by PCGS or NGC with the double die obverse label can fetch thousands of dollars in today's market, but even the regular 1972 penny, especially those with strong mint luster and red color, can be worth holding on to. Some top-graded 1972 D Lincoln cents have reached several $100s, while the 1972 S-proof coins are highly collectible for their mirror-like finish and rarity. So, what makes this coin truly special? It's the combination of history, rarity, and mystery. A penny that cost just 1 cent to make, now worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. It's proof that treasure doesn't always come in gold or silver. Sometimes, it's right there in the smallest details of a copper coin. Every collector dreams of finding a coin like the 1972 double-die Lincoln penny. It represents the thrill of discovery, the beauty of imperfection, and the legacy of American craftsmanship. So next time you're sorting through your spare change, remember, you could be holding a piece of history worth a fortune. Video with other collectors and history lovers. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive into the world of rare coins, hidden errors, and valuable finds. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most overlooked yet fascinating coins in U.S. history, the 1987 Lincoln penny. You might think it's just a common cent, but by the end of this video, you'll realize that this little copper-plated coin can be worth far more than you ever imagined, in some cases, even close to $898.957 if the condition, rarity, and minting errors align perfectly. So sit back, coin lovers, and let's explore the world of the 1987 Liberty Lincoln penny like never before. The 1987 Lincoln penny was struck at 3 major U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint has its own story and its own secrets. The Philadelphia mint coins have no mint mark, the Denver mint coins carry the famous D, and the San Francisco mint produced the highly collectible proof versions. These coins were minted at a time when America was shifting its economy, technology was booming, and even the smallest details in coin design reflected the pride of American craftsmanship. The obverse side of the penny shows the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design first introduced in 1909 to celebrate his 100th birthday, and still going strong through 1987, representing liberty, honor, and strength. Now, let's talk about the composition. By 1987, the penny had already undergone a major transformation. Gone were the full copper coins of the past. Since 1982, the U.S. Mint had switched to a composition of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating. That means your 1987 penny has a zinc core, making it lighter in weight and cheaper to produce, but also more vulnerable to damage and corrosion if not stored properly. Collectors often prefer coins in mint state condition, and finding a flawless 1987 penny with its bright luster and clean strike can make a huge difference in value. Speaking of value, this is where things get truly exciting. While a circulated 1987 penny might only fetch a few cents, the real treasure lies in mint state and error coins. A 1987 Lincoln penny graded MS67 red by PCGS or NGC can sell anywhere from $100 to several $1,000s, depending on the market and buyer demand. But that's not all. Certain rare errors from 1987 can skyrocket in value. Look for off-center strikes, double dies, or even missing letters in Liberty or In God We Trust. These small imperfections turn ordinary coins into extraordinary finds worth hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars. The proof versions, struck in San Francisco with the S mint mark, are another story of perfection. These coins were never meant for circulation. They were made with specially polished dies and mirror-like surfaces for collectors and sold in proof sets. A flawless 1987 S-proof penny can command impressive prices, especially if it's graded PR70 deep cameo. These are the coins that shine like jewels, absolute masterpieces in the world of numismatics. Now, let's move into the historical background of the year 1987. America was in the middle of the Reagan era, technology was advancing, and the U.S. Mint was producing billions of coins to keep up with the booming economy. Yet among these billions, only a handful stood out due to perfect minting or rare errors, and those are the ones collectors dream of finding today. The total mintage was enormous, over 4.6 billion from Philadelphia, more than 4.5 billion from Denver, and about 4 million proofs from San Francisco. That means if you have a 1987 penny, you're holding a piece of that massive production wave, but the key is condition, rarity, and uniqueness. Collectors always look for that fiery red color, the red designation, which shows that the coin still retains its original mint luster. Over time, many pennies turn brown due to oxidation, but those that remain bright and glossy red are far rarer and much more valuable. Coins graded MS68 red are incredibly scarce, and if you find one, you might just be sitting on a small fortune. Some auctions have seen these coins reach values near the astonishing $898.957 mark for unique examples with incredible eye appeal and perfect surfaces. Now let's talk about the market. The coin market in 2025 is hot for Lincoln cents. Collectors worldwide are rediscovering the charm of these little coins, especially those from the 1980s. As silver and gold prices fluctuate, many new collectors are turning to pennies because they're affordable to start with yet can yield big rewards. Online marketplaces, auctions, and collector forums are full of buyers hunting for premium-grade 1987 Lincoln cents. And the best part? You might already have one sitting in a coin jar, tucked away in your home. When examining your 1987 penny, pay attention to the details. Is the lettering sharp? Is there any doubling on the date or the word Liberty? Are there signs of die cracks, cuds, or misalignment? Each of these errors adds to the story and increases the value. Even a small off-center strike or a visible die break can push a coin's value from just a few cents to hundreds of dollars instantly. Use a magnifying glass, good lighting, and, if possible, compare your coin to online grading examples. Knowledge is power in coin collecting. It's also important to understand the grading scale, from circulated to mint state. Circulated coins show wear and tear from being used daily. About uncirculated, AU, coins show minimal wear, mostly on high points, while mint state, MS, coins show no wear at all. Within mint state, there's a scale from MS60 to MS70, and each step up represents a massive increase in value. An MS65 might be worth $10, while an MS68 could soar into the hundreds or even thousands, depending on demand. So, if you have a 1987 Lincoln penny, take it seriously. It might just be a hidden gem. Clean it gently with care, but remember, never polish or scrub a coin, as that can destroy its value. Store it in a protective holder or capsule to prevent scratches and oxidation. If you suspect your coin is valuable, consider having it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Their certification can turn a simple penny into a certified investment piece. The legacy of the Lincoln penny is unmatched. Since 1909, it has symbolized American pride, honesty, and hard work. The 1987 version continues that story, a bridge between the classic copper era and the modern zinc composition. Every detail, from Lincoln's thoughtful portrait to the proud Lincoln Memorial reverse, tells a tale of history, artistry, and resilience. This coin might be small, but its story and value are immense. As of the current market, 1987 Lincoln pennies in top condition can reach incredible values in auctions and private sales, some even pushing close to that eye-popping $898.957 mark when combined with errors, rarity, and perfect grading. The demand keeps growing, and so does the excitement for these pieces of American history. So, check your pocket change, your old coin jars, and your collections. You might be holding one of the hidden treasures of numismatic history. The 1987 Liberty Lincoln penny, a coin that proves that sometimes, even the smallest piece of metal can hold a story worth almost $1 million. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible story of the 1988 Lincoln penny, a small copper coin that could be worth far more than just 1 cent. Get ready, because what might look like an ordinary penny could actually be a collector's dream, holding a market value soaring up to hundreds, even thousands of dollars depending on its condition, rarity, and minting errors. So stay tuned till the end, because by the time this video ends, you'll never look at your loose change the same way again. Let's begin with a bit of history. The 1988 Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, marked by the small d just below the year on the obverse side of the coin. This penny carries the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that first appeared back in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Over the decades, the Lincoln cent became one of the most collected coins in American history, and certain years, like 1988, produced varieties and minting errors that collectors still hunt for to this day. Now, what makes the 1988 penny so interesting? At first glance, it looks like any other penny from the late 1980s, a copper-plated zinc coin weighing 2.5 grams with a diameter of 19 millimeters. But under closer inspection, some 1988 pennies reveal something extraordinary, the transitional design variety known as the 1988 reverse of 1989. This means that some pennies minted in Denver during 1988 were struck using a reverse die meant for the following year, 1989. This error created a subtle but important difference on the back of the coin, particularly in the designer initials, FG, for Frank Gasparo, near the Lincoln Memorial. The spacing and style of those letters can distinguish a rare and valuable variety from a normal coin. Collectors across the United States and around the world have been searching for this 1988 variety for decades, and it has become one of the most desirable modern Lincoln cents. In circulated condition, a regular 1988 penny might only be worth a cent or two, but the rare transitional variety can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on its preservation and grading. Some of these coins in mint state, MS, condition have sold for astonishing amounts at auction. High-end examples graded by PCGS or NGC have reached values close to $900, even surpassing $1,000 for pristine specimens with strong strikes and full red luster. In fact, the current estimated market range for the most exceptional pieces hovers around $898.956. Yes, nearly $900 for a single 1-cent coin. Why do collectors pay so much? Because transitional design varieties are like accidental time capsules, they reveal moments in U.S. mint history when old and new designs overlapped, creating rare coins that should not exist. These transitional errors are proof that even in modern minting, mistakes happen, and those mistakes can turn into valuable treasures. For the 1988 Lincoln penny, the transition from the reverse design of 1988 to that of 1989 produced this fascinating crossover that continues to captivate numismatists. But beyond the variety, even regular 1988 Lincoln pennies in top condition can hold value. Coins with original mint brilliance, no scratches, and sharp details are graded as red RD by professional graders. A 1988 penny in MS67 RD condition can easily sell between $100 and $250 depending on demand. Those with full luster, perfect surfaces, and outstanding eye appeal can reach even higher. On the other hand, coins that have been in circulation for years usually carry little value unless they feature an error or are exceptionally well preserved. Speaking of errors, keep an eye out for double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and planchet flaws on the 1988 penny. These minting errors are what make certain coins stand out and bring in big money from serious collectors. For example, a 1988 with a noticeable die crack running through Lincoln's head or date can attract bids well over $50 to $100 depending on its clarity and visual impact. And if you ever find a double die obverse or reverse, your penny could easily be worth hundreds. Now let's talk about the current market. As of today, the interest in modern Lincoln pennies, especially varieties from the 1980s, has been increasing. Online marketplaces like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections show strong activity for 1988 Lincoln cents, especially certified examples with high grades or unique errors. Collectors are recognizing the importance of these late 20th century coins, and as demand grows, so does their value. What was once considered a simple common coin has become a key part of many modern collections. Prices have been rising consistently, with premium examples fetching record-breaking amounts. So what should you do if you think you have a 1988 penny? First, look closely at the reverse of the coin. Check the designer's initials, FG, located near the base of the Lincoln Memorial. If the letters appear closer together and sharper, matching the style used in 1989, you might have the valuable transitional variety. Next, examine the coin's condition. The redder and shinier the surface, the higher the potential value. Avoid cleaning your coin, as this can reduce its worth dramatically. If you believe your coin could be rare, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication and certification. A coin in a graded holder not only verifies its authenticity but also boosts its market value. Remember, every Lincoln penny tells a story of America, of craftsmanship, of history in your hands. The 1988 D penny may seem small, but it represents a fascinating chapter in U.S. minting history, one filled with mystery, error, and unexpected value. Whether you find one in your coin jar or stumble upon it in your change, you could be holding something truly special. So next time you pick up a penny, don't just pass it by. Check that date, look for the D mint mark, study the reverse, and who knows, you might just uncover a 1988 D transitional variety worth hundreds of dollars. That's the magic of coin collecting. Every coin has potential, and every collector has a chance to find something extraordinary. Thank you for watching RF Coins. If you love learning about US coin history, rare varieties, and current market trends, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue uncovering the secrets of coins that hide in plain sight. Stay tuned for more amazing discoveries, and remember, the next valuable coin could already be in your pocket. This is RF Coins, where small coins tell big stories. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 2004 Lincoln penny, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance but can actually be worth far more than 1 cent if you know what to look for. So sit back, coin collectors and treasure hunters, because we're about to uncover everything about the 2004 Lincoln penny, its history, value, rare errors, and current market worth that could reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Let's begin with a little history. The 2004 Lincoln penny is part of the long-running Lincoln Memorial series, which started in 1959 and continued until 2008, just before the new shield reverse design was introduced in 2010. On the obverse, or front side of the coin, you'll see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, the same design that has been in use since 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Above Lincoln's head, the word Liberty stands boldly, and the date 2004 can be found to the right side. Beneath the date, you may find the mint mark D for Denver or no mint mark if it was minted in Philadelphia. Now, what makes the 2004 Lincoln penny so interesting is not just its design, but its composition. By 2004, the U.S. Mint had been producing pennies made primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating. Each coin contains 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper. That change in composition, which started back in 1982, means that modern pennies like the 2004 version weigh just 2.5 grams compared to the heavier 3.11 grams of earlier solid copper cents. Despite being small, these lightweight coins have a big story, especially when rare mint errors or pristine conditions are involved. So what makes your 2004 Lincoln penny worth more than face value? The answer lies in condition, rarity, and minting errors. Coins that have been well preserved and graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC in high mint state conditions, MS67, MS68, or even higher, can command impressive prices in today's market. Some collectors are willing to pay big money for coins that show perfect luster, sharp strikes, and no visible blemishes. Let's talk about value. Most circulated 2004 pennies you find in pocket change will be worth just 1 cent, but uncirculated examples can bring anywhere from 10 cents to a few dollars, depending on grade. However, when we get into higher mint state levels, the story changes dramatically. A 2004 D Lincoln penny graded MS68 red has sold for hundreds of dollars at auction. Some examples in flawless condition have even touched prices around $898.953, depending on collector demand and auction competition. Yes, you heard that right, nearly $900 for a 1-cent coin, all because it's rare in that perfect grade. But that's not all. There are also error coins that can bring serious money. Some 2004 Lincoln pennies were struck off-center, have die cracks, or even double dies that show doubling on Lincoln's face, lettering, or the memorial building on the reverse. These minting errors can make your penny worth anywhere from $50 to several $100s, and in extremely rare cases, much more. If you come across a 2004 penny that looks odd, always take a closer look. It could be a valuable variety hiding in plain sight. Now let's explore the reverse design. The Lincoln Memorial side of the coin, created by Frank Gasparo, features the magnificent memorial building with the tiny seated statue of Lincoln visible between the columns, a detail that often amazes new collectors when they see it under magnification. The words United States of America and E pluribus unum arch across the top, while 1 cent is boldly centered below. Every line and pillar of this design reflects the legacy of Lincoln and the nation's respect for his leadership. As we move into the current coin market, values for Lincoln memorial cents like the 2004 issue have been rising steadily, especially for high-grade and error examples. With more people entering the coin hobby, prices are becoming stronger across the board. Online auction sites, coin shows, and grading services all report increased interest in modern pennies, especially those that have flawless red luster and full details. The demand for Lincoln cents remains incredibly strong because they are affordable, familiar, and part of American history that everyone recognizes. If you're searching rolls of pennies, you may want to focus on finding those shiny, uncirculated 2004 coins that have full red color. The red designation refers to the bright, coppery tone that shows a coin has been well preserved since minting. Over time, exposure to air can darken a penny's surface, turning it from red to brown or red-brown. Fully red coins are much more desirable and valuable to collectors. You should also check both 2004 and 2004 pennies for any unusual marks or doubling. Sometimes, slight misalignments or die wear create collectible varieties that can go unnoticed by most people. Keep an eye out for repunched mint marks or die cracks that travel across Lincoln's shoulder or the memorial columns. Every little difference can mean a big jump in value. Now let's talk about the current market excitement. As of now, collectors are paying premium prices for top-graded 2004 Lincoln cents, especially in MS68 red and higher. Even if your coin isn't graded, an uncirculated roll of 2004 pennies can be worth far more than face value if it contains bright, beautiful examples. Coin dealers and collectors across the United States have been reporting increased demand, and some even believe that the Lincoln Memorial Series is becoming a new favorite among younger numismatists. Think about it, a simple coin that many people overlook could be sitting in your change jar, quietly holding a story of American history and potential value. That's what makes collecting so exciting. The 2004 Lincoln penny is not just a piece of metal, it's a connection to more than a century of tradition, artistry, and national pride. So, next time you pick up a penny and see that little date 2004 with the proud word Liberty beside Lincoln's portrait, remember, you might be holding a small fortune in your hand. Always check for mint marks, condition, and any unique features that could set your coin apart. The thrill of discovery is what keeps collectors searching every day. In conclusion, the 2004 Lincoln penny continues to capture hearts and spark curiosity among coin enthusiasts. From its historical roots in the Lincoln Memorial design to its surprising auction prices, this small cent represents a huge chapter in American numismatic history. Whether it's worth a few cents or hundreds of dollars, each coin tells a story of craftsmanship and legacy. That wraps up today's deep dive into the 2004 Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed learning about the value, history, and hidden potential of this remarkable coin, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to RF Coins, and share this video with your fellow collectors. We have more exciting episodes coming up where we'll explore even more rare coins that could be worth a lot of money sitting right in your pocket. Thanks for watching RF Coins, where every coin has a story, and every story could lead to treasure. Keep searching, keep learning, and always check your change. You never know what hidden fortune